こんにちは、皆さん。今日、私たちは日本語を勉強しています。質問があれば、私に聞いてください。Greetings, everyone. Today we're studying Japanese. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me at any time. Want to continue with Immersion with Card Captor Sakura?
ゆきとさんがありがとうお兄ちゃんゆきとさんがありがとうお兄ちゃん
Then one, I think that's Chaku Shinon? Let's see. Chaku Shinon, yes. Or ringtone. In other words, arrive, trust, sound, or the sound you can trust when a call arrives, I guess. So, Denwa no Chakushinon.
私出る
Let's see, Watashiteru.
はよ行けはよ行け
できた。
ゆきとさんがありがとうお兄ちゃん私出る
Watashiteru. What could that mean in this context? Deru is out. So I'm out. I know this has to do something to do with answering the phone. Oh, I'm leaving or I have to go. I guess she's just saying I have to go because she has to pick up the phone. Okay, so I'm leaving. Yeah, in other words, I'm exiting essentially. I'm like, hey, I'm leaving, okay? Watashiteru. Hayo Ike. Hayo Ike. So in other words, go, quickly go, quickly go. Hayo Ike, Hayo Ike.
私出るはよ行けはよ行けはよはよ
Hayo. Okay. Yeah, he's saying it in another way now. And he's saying first he said Hayo, which is a short of Hayo, and Hayo is a concept band way of saying Hayoku. So Hayo, Hayo.
はよ行けはよ行けはよはよ
Let's see. Jushin own. Accept, undergo, answer, and then Shion, ringtone. I think in this case, it's that this is supposed to be like the completion sound for a fax machine. Jushinon.
どっからだ
Let's see. どっからだ So let's see. Dokara. Is that just short for Dokokara? Dokara da. Please explain the grammar of this. Casual informal contraction of dokokara. So where's it from? Okay, so dokara da.
どっからだ
お友達すっごく大事なお友達すっごく大事な
Otomodachi Sugoku Daiji na. So, a friend, it's very important. So, Otomodachi Sugoku Daiji na. Say Otomodachi. Okay. Sugoku, extremely. Daiji, big. So, big thing, aka important.
どっからだ
お友達すっごく大事な
はあ
Sakura something. Oh, Y, yeah. Yeah, that's Y in katakana. So Y wa Genkya? Genkya or let's see. Genki. Genkya. Let's see. Mata. Something raku. Suru. Raku suru. Let's see some. Mata something raku suru. Is that supposed to be matan? That's probably shirakusu. Okay, yeah, let's assume that's she. Shirakusuru. So mata. Could that be this character? Doesn't look right though. Okay, that's not the correct word. Maybe this character? I'm not sure. Maybe they'll translate it. Let's see. Sakura. I think he's basically trying to say that he's fine.
すっごく大事な
はあ
は
まあ、ケロちゃんが
連絡
Renraku as in connection. Or communication. So Kira-chan communicated. So I guess some sort of pseudo verb would probably go here, but it's obvious to Japanese speakers, so they dropped it. So ma Kira-chan ga renraku wo communication contacting, okay.
ケロちゃんが連絡をファックスだけどケロちゃんの字だったファックスだけどケロ
ファックスだけど、キラちゃんの something だった。See, ファックス。
ケロちゃんが連絡をファックスだけどケロちゃんの字だったケロちゃんが連絡をファックスだけどケロちゃんの字だった
Yeah, by the way, that's connect and then coil round get called in, aka communication. G character.
ケロちゃんが連絡をファックスだけどケロちゃんの字だった
No G data, yeah, they said G. Oh, handwriting, that's probably what they mean here. So, uh, yes, there is a fax, but it's Kira-chan's, but it was Kira-chan's handwriting. Faxu da kedo Kira-chan no G data.
ケロちゃんが連絡をファックスだけどケロちゃんの字だった送り先の番号わかりますか
送り先の番号わかりますか
ケロちゃんが連絡をファックスだけどケロちゃんの字だった送り先の番号
Okuri Sama, that's right, Okuri. Destination recipient address. So escort Okuru to send, okay, and then before previous future precedents. Wait, this means destination? I think they're talking about this sender address, not so much the destination address. So let's see. So under that assumption, is there a sender address, Bongo is phone number, or number series? Okay, Bongo. So Okuri saki no Bongo wakarimasu ka? So wait. Let's see. Is there an address? Is there an address number? I don't know. Another, I think she's saying, I wonder if there's an address number. Let's see what the translator says. Actually, it's probably closer to I don't understand than I don't know, but let's see. Do you know the recipient's number? How does that mean that? Do you know the recipient's number? Let's see. Do you understand the shipping or tracking number, or more naturally, do you have a tracking? Okay, no, that's not what they mean. And from context, they know it's a phone call. I mean, a fax call, so. This is from a fax. Do you have the recipient's number? Okay. This is a functional question asked when preparing to send a fax. Okay. Means destination or recipient, literally sending destination. Bongo meaning number. Just any kind of number, just bongo. Okay, so this is the number of the recipient and not the number of the sender. Yes, Okurisaki refers to the destination or recipient, the party receiving the fax destination. Okurimoto, the party sending the fax. Maybe she's asking in the context of, like, do you know the number you have to send it to? Not necessarily the recipient number of that particular fax, because she's the recipient, but like, did you look at the sending number so you know the number you have to send it to, Okurisaki? Explain. Please explain how this uses wakarimasu ka to mean what it means. The phrase okuri saki no bango wakarimasu ka uses wakarimasu ka to mean do you know rather than do you understand due to the specific nuance of the verb wakaru. Okay, so this is not about a wonder at all. This is I guess the okurisaki no bango would be the noun in front of wo. And like, do you know that noun? Okay, so okurisaki no bango wakarimasu ka? Do you know the recipient's number?
ファックスだけどケロちゃんの字だった。送り先の番号わかりますか？ファックス用紙の上の方に発信だった。送り先の番号わかりますか？ファックス用紙の上の方に番号わかりますか？ファックス
Faxu Yoshi blank form sheet of paper. So the fax paper's ue up above. I think it means like above in the sense of the top of the page, but faxu Yoshi no ue no ho ni. So in the direction of the top of the page, in the way of the top of the page, or the direction. Okay, so she's not trying to say it is at the very top of the page. She's trying to say it's like in that direction. That's why they use no ho here. Let's confirm that. Why is it written as this? Instead of, because ue is a noun, so you don't actually need the no ho unless you meant to use that. What is the difference between them? Let's see, Faxu Yoshi. Let's see, Yoshi comes from utilize, business, service, employ, or use, and then paper. So used paper, I guess, or a sheet of paper. So Faxu Yoshi no ue ni means simply on top of the fax paper or on the upper part of the fax paper. It indicates a direct location of on the paper section, but it can imply anywhere in general upper area, while faxu yoshi no ue no ho ni means towards the upper part of the fax paper or in the upper region of the fax paper. The addition of no ho adds a nuance of direction or general area rather than a precise point. It suggests the upper side or the upper vicinity rather than on top. So she's not saying it's at the very top, she's just saying in the upper area. That's why they added the no ho. So faxu yoshi no ue no ho ni.
の字だった。送り先の番号わかりますか？ファックス用紙の上の方に発信データが記されてるはずですわ。
発信データが see, Hashin, dispatch, transmission, submission, informing of opinions, sharing thoughts, etc. Okay. Transmission, Hashin, data. So transmission data ga shido sareteru, to write down, to note down, to jot down, to take a note of. So shirusu becomes shira sareteru. So it's in the resultant state of having something jotted down on it, essentially. So it received writing down on it, and it's currently in that state. So it has the transmission data written on it. Shiru sareteru hazu, and then hazu should. So it should have the transmission data written down on it. So hashin data. Let's see. Hashin comes from depart, disclose. Okay, departure and faith, trust. Okay. So hashin data ga shiru sareteru hazu desu wa. Hashin data ga shiru sareteru hazu desu wa. And all in total, it's Faksuyoshi no ue no ho ni hashin data ga shirusu, so shiru sareteru. So Faksuyoshi no ue no ho ni hashin data ga, okay, shiru sareteru hazu desu wa. Shirusu.
ファックス用紙の上の方に発信データが記されてるはずですわ。
522
発信データが記されてるはずですわ。522。
Yobi dashi naka or yobi dashi chu. Let's see. Yobu, that is, yeah. Yobi dashi naka. Yobidashi, call, summons. So in the middle of a call, in other words, it's loading right now, basically. Yobidashi. Let's see. Sate rai to mapu, satellite map. Let's see, she selected on Tokyo. Oh, and she must have changed her cursor on her computer. Let's see. Kyan seru. Oh, cancellation. Yeah, cancel. Yeah. Kyanseru. Oh, kyanseru. Not sure who that is, but okay.
大体ですけど場所がわかりそうですわ。大体で
大体ですけど、場所が、わかりそうですわ。大体, okay. Generally, or on the whole, mostly, almost nearly. So that comes from large, big, and then body, subject, object, reality. So large substance. So generally, large body, in other words, talking about the thing as a whole. So daitai, general rough, okay. So in other words, it's a general or a rough area. So, or it's general, so daitai desu kedo basho ga wakarisou desu wa. So it's rough, but it appears like I know the place. I think I have a general idea of where it is. Daitai desu wa kedo basho ga wakarisou desu wa.
けど場所がわかりそうですわ。
このように太平洋側に強力な低気圧が近づいています。太平洋側に強力な低気圧
ですけど場所がわかりそうですわ。
このように
Let's see. I think that's the kanji used in. That's the kanji used in Tanki. Tanki? Let's see. Oh yes. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, Tanki. Yeah. So Kisho, weather forecast. Kisho yo Hoshi. So spirit and mind. Air. So in other words, Tanki, the air of heavens. In other words, weather. Let's see. Beforehand. So what is this kanji? Zo. Oh yeah, but or show form-shaped figure. Okay, so air form forehand report gentleman scholar samurai. I guess this is supposed to give like an official kind of meaning. So the official that gives a beforehand report, beforehand air image report. In other words, a weather report. So Kishoyo Hoshi. So konoyo ni. So this towards this way. So konoyo ni.
太平洋側に強力な低気圧が近
場所がわかりそうですわ。
このように太平洋側に強力な低気圧が近づいています。このように
Pacific Seaboard. Taihei Yogawa. So plump, thick, big, round, even, flat, piece. Ocean. Gawa, side lane. So Taihei, peace, tranquility. Okay, so Taihei Gawa, Pacific Seaboard. Oh, maybe it's these three make a word. Taihei, Pacific Ocean. So plump, then thick, big, around, then even, flat, piece, and then ocean. So the big ocean, because Pacific Ocean is the biggest. I guess it's flat in the sense that there's not really any land continents there. So big flat ocean, in other words, Pacific Ocean. Taiheiyo. And then when you want to say seaboard, you add this word to it. Oh, this is Kawa Ogawa side. So in other words, the Pacific Ocean side. Taiheiyo Gawa. So Taiheiyo Gara ni Kyoroku na, powerful, strong. So in other words, strength and power makes Kyoroku, powerful, strong. Okay. So there's a strong take kiatsu. Low atmospheric pressure, low pressure system. So there's a strong low pressure system. So kyoryo na teikiatsu ga chikazuite imasu. Chikazuku. So this is from near and attach. Chikai and suku. To get closer. It means to approach. So chikazuku. So chikazuite imasu. So we're in the continuous state of a strong low pressure system at the Pacific Ocean side. A powerful low-pressure system is approaching. Oh, they're not saying that we're in the resultant state. They're saying that it's currently in the process of approaching. Okay. Konnichiwa, baked linguine, genki desu ka? Taiheiyo gawa ni. Yeah, by the way, they also use that similar gawa thing on the train where like when a train's approaching a station, they announce like what door's gonna open, whether it's the left or the side door. So they might say Migi Gawa if it's gonna be the right doors opening. Or Hidari Gawa if it's gonna be the left doors opening. Which is basically like right side or left side. So Taihen Gara ni let's see. Kyoroku na teikiatsu. Let's see, lower air pressure. Quite literally, teikiatsu. Let's see, teikiatsu ga chikazuite imasu. So, Taiheiyo gawa, yeah, Taiheiyo gawa ni kyoroku na teikiatsu ga chikazuite imasu. Taiheiyo gawa ni kyoryoku na teikiatsu ga chikazuite imasu. Or there's a powerful low pressure system approaching on the Pacific Ocean side.
大体ですけど場所がわかりそうですわ。
このように太平洋側に強力な低気圧が近づいています。強い風が吹きますのでご注意ください。
So Akane knows. That's the kanji for humming. Like nose singing is how they say humming. Hana uta, humming. Yeah, uta by itself is just song. And utau is to sing. Yes, okay. Suyoi kaze. Fukimas. Fuku, to blow of wind. Okay, to blow one's breath, to breathe out, to blow on hot tea candles, etc., to puff, to play a wind instrument, to blow. to emit smoke, fire, etc. To sprout, to put forth buds, to appear on the surface. To form, to be coated with powder, okay. To burst out. So, Suyoi Kaze ga fukimasu node, gochuri kudasai. Let's see, that kanji is thought, and the other one is something. So, flow into, concentrate notes, pour. So, pour thought, in other words, to focus, attention, notice, care, caution. So, you're pouring your thought into something, so you're noticing something, paying attention to something. Guchui. So, there's going to be strong winds blowing, so please be careful. Or tsuyoi kaze ga fukimasu node go chui. Okay, go chui kudasai. Tsuyoi kaze ga fukimasu node go chui kudasai.
な低気圧が近づいています。強い風が吹きますのでご注意ください。では各地の予報です。強い風が吹きますのでご注意ください。では各
See, Akane no Hana Uta, Akane humming, and then Dewa Kakuchi. So each place, every place, various places, all parts of the country, world. Okay, so made from every, either, ground, earth. So every ground, in other words, all parts of Yoho. Dewa are all parts to be all parts of the forecast. Oh, okay. Oh, that's the total forecast. It's saying there's no more left in the forecast. Okay, so all that, or dewa, kakuchi no yoho, is all parts of the forecast. So that's all for the forecast. So dewa kakuchi no yoho desu. Dewa kakuchi no yoho desu. Before information, essentially. Before report, aka forecast.
太平洋側に強力な低気圧が近づいています。強い風が吹きますのでご注意ください。では各地の予報です。
せやけどどない。一人にして置いていくわけ。
太平洋側に強力な低気圧が近づいています。強い風が吹きますのでご注意ください。では各地の予報です。
せやけどどない。
Well, see, Seiya, that's right. That is so, oh right, so Seiya, okay, let's see, that's right, but Donai Sho, Shio, let's see, Donai was, oh yeah, same as either Do or Dona, that's right. You have to know from context which ones they're using. Oh, then Shio is from Sudu, so what should I do, in other words? Yeah. So, that's That's right, but what should I do? Let's see. Translator says it's... I guess so, but what should I do? Okay, so... Un seiya kedo donai shio.
吹きますのでご注意ください。では各地の予報です。
せやけどどないしよう。一人にして置いていくわけにもいかんしな。どないしよう。一人。
Hitori ni shite oite. So wait, doing one person place, going, let's see, wake, reason. Usually if they're using oite to mean to put into place, I don't think they use the kanji for it. Here they use the kanji. Reason. Nimo. Ikan. Shina. Please explain the grammar of. So, hitori ni shite, the causative form of to be alone, hitori ni naru. Oh, that's right. Yeah, so hitori is one person, so shite is you're doing something to cause it to, so you do an action to make it so that they're one person or alone, essentially. So hitori ni shite oite, the te form of oku, as seen in the search, te oku generally means to do something in advance or to leave a result in place. In other words, to put in place causing someone to be alone. Here it emphasizes leaving the person in the state of being alone, and then iku, the directional auxiliary verb to go, when combined with a verb in the te form, it indicates that an action moving away from the speaker's current location. Thus, oite iku means to leave someone else behind and go. When combined with a verb in the te form, it indicates an action moving away from the speaker's current location. Thus, oiteiku means to leave someone behind and go. Let's see. Wake ni nimo ikanai. Okay, wake reason nimo, article emphasizing the impossibility or difficulty. Let's see, ikanai, okay. The negative form of iku, to go, to happen. So the meaning, wake nimo ikanai literally means it is not a situation where X can happen or go. It is used to express the action is not an option. It is unacceptable or impossible due to circumstances. Okay, so ikan is short for ikanai. So ikan, a classical literary negative form to be okay, often used in formal or dramatic speech, but contracted in casual speech and context. It replaces Ika.init cannot. For stylistic emphasis, she, a conjunction, meaning because or furthermore. So the reasoning she. Na, okay, since in particle indicating a sign, agreement, or self-reflection. So, wake nimo ikenai literally means is not a situation where X can go. Oh, yeah, basically not able to. Yeah, ikenai is used for not able to. So, not able to situation. So, wake is the situation, and it's defined by this whole descriptor here. So, this whole thing describes wake. And then he's saying he's not able to do that situation. Let's see. So, iku, the directional auxiliary verb to go, when combined with a verb in the te form, it indicates an action moving away from the speakers. So, let's see. When oku is used for putting something in place, are you allowed to use the kanji? Yes, you're allowed to often expected to use the kanji oku when referring to the literal physical act of putting something in place. However, the usage depends entirely on whether it's the main verb or auxiliary verb. When oku is used as the main verb to put, to place, to leave behind in a physical or concrete sense, the kanji is the standard and correct. Auxiliary verb. When oku follows a verb in the te oku, meaning to do in advance or to leave in a certain state, that's what we have here. It functions as a grammatical auxiliary. In this context, writing it as oku is generally considered incorrect and confusing because it forces the reader to interpret the literal meaning to place rather than the grammatical nuance of preparation. In this sentence, is it 1 or 2? It functions as to an auxiliary verb, compound indicating to leave behind and go rather than the literal main verb. Okay. Making someone alone? Okay. Because it describes a state of being left behind while the subject departs, oku and iku here are functioning grammatically as auxiliary verbs modifying the main action. While the kanji is technically correct for the root verb, in this specific grammatical construction, te oku iku, it is often written in hiragana to emphasize its auxiliary nuance in leaving in a state rather than the physical act of placing. However, writing it as oite iku with kanji is common and acceptable when the nuance of leaving behind is strong. So it's generally supposed to be written without the kanji unless you want to really emphasize the statement. So meaning to can use the kanji if you wanted to really emphasize it. Yes, you can use the kanji oku in auxiliary contexts like teoku if you want to strongly emphasize the literal nuance of physically leaving something in a specific place or state, but it's generally discouraged. But it's generally discouraged in standard writing because it often confuses the reader. Here's the breakdown and when and why you might do this. 99% of the cases teoku is written in hiragana that signals the reader that the meaning is grammatical, due in advance, or leave it a state not physical. Emphatic usage. You might see teoku in literature, manga, or specific stylistic writing. Okay, so continuing. So you might see teoku in literature, manga, or specific stylistic writing to force the reader to visualize the physical act of leaving something behind. It shifts the focus from preparation to the physical result of the action, like leaving the luggage here and go. Here, the oku is natural because you are physically placing an object. Okay, rare stylistic example. Leave my heart behind. A poet might use the kanji here to make a metaphor feel more tangible, as if the heart is a physical object being left on the ground. So, 一人にしておいていくわけにもいかんしな。So, quite literally, since it's not possible to put in place making her alone, or more literally do one person put in place go a situation not possible. But though, why does it use iku here? I don't think it means go in the sense of putting that in place and then going. I think it's supposed to have some other kind of meaning. Why is iku here? I think it's supposed to have like a timing meaning of the statement. So iku and oite iku adds the crucial meaning of going away or departing from the scene. Without iku, the sentence would just mean leave them alone. With iku, it explicitly means leave them alone and go away. Physical movement. The auxiliary verb te iku indicates that the subject performs an action and then moves away from the current location or person affected. Why it matters in this context. The speaker is saying I can't just leave them alone and walk away. Okay, if you said hitori ni shite oku wake ni mo ikanai, I can't leave her alone or in this state, but it lacks the emphasis on abandoning her by leaving the scene. By adding iku, it emphasizes the act of abandonment, leaving the person behind while the speaker continues on their own path. It has no time meaning. Now, in this specific sentence, iku has no time meaning. It strictly indicates physical movement or direction. Spatial movement, to do something and go away, meaning you leave the person alone and physically depart from their location. Temporal time meaning, to do something from now into the future, for your state to continue changing. Samuku nate iku, it will get colder and colder. Yes. Yeah, nate comes from naru, so to become samuku or to become cold, and then going, or in other words continuing. Okay, so here this is just physical leaving. It's for the iku. Hitori ni shite oite iku wake ni. Okay, hitori ni shite oite iku wake ni mo ikan shi na.
きますのでご注意ください。では各地の予報です。
せやけどどないしよう。一人にして置いていくわけにもいかんしな。せやけどさくらのとこにもそろそろ戻らない。
Let's see. Seiya kiddo. That's right, but so this Seiya is like soda. Okay, so Seiya kiddo Sakura no Toko, so Sakura's place. Soro, soon, before long, anytime now, momentarily. Mororu, to turn back. So it's supposed to be, yeah, oh yeah, so Modoran, yeah, Modoran, so from Modoranai, so not returning back soon. So it's like, that's right, but if I don't return back to Sakura's place soon, or in other words, saying that you need to return back to Sakura's place, or more literally, with now returning to Sakura's place soon. So soda kedo Sakura no toko ni mo soro modoran to.
せやけどさくらのとこにもそろそろ戻らない。ちゃうちゃん飛べるんだ。せやけどさくらのとこにもそろそろ戻らない。ちゃうちゃん。
Chao-chan, toberunda. So Chao-chan, you're flying. So Chao-chan, you're flying. So Chao-chan, toberunda.
せやけどさくらのとこにもそろそろ戻らない。ちゃうちゃん飛べるんだ。ちゃうちゃうちゃうちゃう。すっごいな、ちゃうちゃん。あかねも飛んでみたいな。ちゃう。すっごいな、ちゃう。
Sugoi na Chao-chan. Amazing Chao-chan. Okane mo tonde, yeah. Okane mo tonde mitai na. So Akane also, let's see, mitai was, oh yeah, appears. Isn't that like appearance? Wait, so it similar to something like appears, seems like, okay, so that's so cool, Chao-chan. I like to fly too. Okay, but why are you using mitai there? And this sentence, why is mitai used at the end? Mitai na is used as a colloquial casual expression to soften the speaker's desire or speculation. Function similar to I feel like, I kind of think, rather than stating a hard fact. Grammatical function. It's the attributive form of mitai, which means like or seems like, acting as a na-adjective. Here it modifies the implied noun no koto, thing, matter that follows, essentially meaning something like Nuance. Japanese speakers often use this structure at the end of a sentence to express uncertainty, humility, or softer tone, indicating that the statement is a personal feeling or a vague wish rather than a definitive declaration. The speaker is likely observing Chao-chan and Akane. Okay. Speaker is. Let's see. Akane is this speaker and is observing Chao-chan flying. Given that Akane is a speaking observer and Chao-chan's flying, the usage of mitaina at the end of tonde mitaina is a specific grammatical construction part of the desirable soft mode of nuance. So tonde to fly, to mitai. This is not like looks like grammar here. It is a combination of the auxiliary verb miru to try to do something plus the desires suffix tai, want to. Together, temitai means. Oh, this is not the looks like. This actually is the miru verb with tai on it, meaning so this is the try miru, and then want to try. So I want to try to fly. It's a combination of the auxiliary verb miru and the to try to do something, and the desire suffix tai, want to. Okay, so together, temitai means I want to try to fly, and I wonder what's it like flying. This is a sentence-ending particle that expresses the seeker's emotion, longing, or wish. It adds a nuance of wouldn't it be nice, or I really wish. Okay, so this means Sugoi na Chao-chan, Akane mo tonne mitai na. So amazing, Chao-chan. I also want to fly.
チャオちゃん飛べるんだ。チャオチャオチャオチャオチャオ。すっごいな、チャオちゃん。ハカネも飛んでみたいな。そしたら天国のお父さんにも会えるのに。すごいな、チャオちゃん。ハカネも飛んでみたいな。そしたら
そしたら、天国、そしたら天国の、お父さんにも、会えるのに。So if that, I'll be able to meet my Father in heaven, but so Tengoku no Otosan means Father in heaven. Heaven's Father. Let's see. Please explain the grammar of や、そしたら、天国のお父さんにも会えるのに、let's see, if that were the case, I could meet my father in my father in heaven, but Soshitada is a constrained meaning if that happens. So if that or when that, okay, if that's the case, Tengoku no Otosan nimo. So Tengoku no of heaven or in heaven, modifying Otosan. Father, okay. The honor of people also suggests respect or affection. Nimo, okay. Ni, a particle indicating the target of the meeting. You meet someone at Mo, the particle meaning also or even. In this context, it emphasizes meeting the father as an additional or significant possibility, including the hypothetical scenario. It adds emotional weight. Okay, let's see. So how does Tengoku no mean in heaven? It literally translates to of heaven or heavens, but in the context of Tengoku no Tosan, it functions as a locative modifier, meaning in heaven. Where the particle's no primarily indicates possession, likes, or of, it is also used to link nouns in an attributive relationship. When the first noun represents a location or sphere of existence, no modifies the second noun to indicate where that person or thing exists. Heavens or of a father, heaven's father or the father of heaven, father who is in heaven. Comparison with other articles. You might wonder why isn't Tengoku de or Tengoku ni, which explicitly means in heaven. Tengoku de or ni, these are used for actions or states. He is in heaven. Kare wa Tengoku ni imasu. Tengoku no, this is used when heaven acts as an adjective-like descriptor for a noun, just as Nihon no sensei means teacher in Japan, not teacher of Japan's possession. So Tengoku no Otosa means father in heaven. So in other words, because it's being used as a descriptor and not part of any of the action verbs of existence or doing, they're using no here. Sora no tori, bird in the sky. Machi no hito, people in town. In your sentence, Tengoku no Otosan implies the father currently resides in heaven, making no the correct particle to attach to the location to the person. Soshitara Tengoku no Otosan ni mo aeru Okay. So continuing this. そしたら、天国のお父さんにも、会えるのに、
すっごいな、ちゃうちゃん。茜も飛んでみたいな。そしたら天国のお父さんにも会えるのに。空飛んでも死んだ人間には会われへんで。
し、空飛んでも、So, as for flying in the sky, 死んだ人、so dead people, 間には、会われへんで、so, 会う、let's see, 会われ、let's see, 会われる、yeah, 会われる, so receive meeting, so, let's see, 会われへんで, let's see, so this is either, not receive meaning or don't receive meaning, meeting. So I think it's trying to say like, as for flying in the sky, dead people cannot be met. Dead people cannot be met. In other words, you can't meet dead people by flying in the sky. I think this ma is the location ma. Let's see. Please explain the grammar of sort. Okay. で、それを飛んでも so even if you fly in the sky, let's see, you cannot meet dead people. So this sore tondemo is short for sore wo tondemo. So and then shinda hito, so dead person. Oh, that's not hito, that's ningen, humans. That's right, that's also the kanji for ningen. That's right, so is the same kanji used for like a moment in time? Yeah, it is. Time, yeah, space, ma, okay. I guess if you think it as a particular place for human is just one human. Or ningen, human being. So a dead human is not able to receive meaning. See, and there's de at the end. Which de is this? See, aeru potential form. So, aware, the negative stem of the potential verb. Wait, aeru. Wait, potential, isn't this passive or receptive? Let's see. Au to meet. Au to meet. Aeru to be able to meet, but awareru would be to receive meeting. Right. Isn't this passive negative? Awaru, consonant negative, I can, yes. Or aware can, I mean, even not able to, let's see, passive, incorrect interpretation, not be met by. So, awareru, let's see, awareru, be met by, consonant negative, awarehen, yes, meaning if, why is it potential not passive? Why awarehen looks identical to the negative passive in some conjugations. The context and standard kansai usage dictate the context and standard kansai usage dictated its potential. The phrase expresses the inability to contact a deceased. Common sentiment saying I'm not met by okay. Passive implies the dead could meet you but choose not to, which is a less common nuance in this specific idiom. Dialectal conjugation. In consonant dialect, the potential form aeru often conjugates to awareru in the affirmative, similar to ranuki word, but standard here, making the negative aware hen. This overlap with the passive form, but the meaning remains cannot meet. So in Kansai Ben, so in Kansai Ben, the potential and passive form of au can conjugate the same. Yes, in Kansai dialect and historically in older Japanese, potential and passive form of au to meet can indeed conjugate identically as awareru. Here's the breakdown on why this happens and how to distinguish them. Au to aeru can meet. Passive au to awareru to be met by. Kansai dialect, because that was standard. Okay, so Kansai is potential. Aeru is often replaced when influenced by the ra insertion pattern. Similar to ichidan verbs or godan potential forms, resulting in awareru. How to distinguish the meaning? Since the form is identical, meaning is derived entirely from context and particles. Context expresses inability or an impossibility. The target is often marked with ni, indicating that the person one tries to meet but cannot. Example, Shinda ningen ni wa awarehin. I cannot meet the dead person. Okay, let's see. So the speaker is the subject who lacks the ability. Okay, passive meaning not met by. Expression that the subject is not the recipient of an action. The agent, the one doing the meeting, is marked by ni. Hypothetical. Dare ni mo aware hin kata, or I was not met by anyone. No one came to me. Okay. And this sentence he provided. Okay, aware hin is the potential because the logic of the sentence, even if I fly, sets a condition of ability. The speaker is saying that flying does not grant the ability to meet the dead. Please explain this raw insertion in more detail. The raw insertion, or rather the presence versus absence of raw, is a key to distinguishing between potential and passive for ichidan verbs. Verbs ending in iru, eru, okay, yeah. Taberu, taberareru, yeah. Tabe. To be eaten or to be able to eat, okay. Ranuki. In casual speech, and increasingly in standard Tokyo dialect, the speaker removes the ra to create a unique form only for potential. So, tabereru, can eat, mireru. Okay, yeah, that's, they delete the ra to make the potential form sound different from the passive form. It's just something that's done. It's not officially grammatically correct as in how you'd write it in standard text, but it's more of a speaking habit. The original sentence represents the original sentence, okay, represents a different older pattern common in Kansai dialect and historical Japanese, which often causes confusion with the Ranuki rule. In Kansai dialect, the potential form of ichidan verbs and some godan verbs like au is often formed by adding the full rareru suffix, similar to the standard passive, rather than the standard Tokyo being reru or eru for godan. Yeah, the Ranuki root is, as the term implies, where you literally nuke the ra, in other words, get rid of it from the word. So let's see. So Tokyo potential aeru, Kansai potential awareru. Looks passive. Kansai negative aware hin. Did the Kansai potential start as awara start as awarareru and had the ra removed from the Ranuki rule. No, the concept potential did not start as awarareru and then have the ra removed from the Ranuki rule. Historical development is actually the reverse of the Tokyo Ranuki phenomena. In old and early middle Japanese, the potential, passive, and spontaneous meanings were all expressed by the same auxiliary verb yu, which evolved into rareru, original state. For centuries, awareru naturally covered both being met by passive and can meet potential spontaneous. There was no distinction. Tokyo evolution. In the standard Tokyo dialect, speakers eventually created a distinct potential for a go-down verb like au by shifting the vowel to an ero, so aeru. This separated can meet and be met by, so awareru. Kansai retention. The Kansai dialect retained the older, undifferentiated awareru for the potential meaning. It did not add ra or remove ra, it simply kept the classical form that the Tokyo abandoned in favor of aeru. Okay, so this has nothing to do with the Ranuki rule. So, sore tonde mo, shinda da ningen ni wa aware hinde. Okay, so even with flying, you're not able to meet a dead person. Okay, so let's see. The translator wants to say this means even if you fly, you won't be able to meet people who have died. Okay, so それ飛んでも、死んだ人間には会われへんで。
そしたら天国のお父さんにも会えるのに。空飛んでも死んだ人間には会われへんで。会いたいはわかるけどな。会われへんで。会いたいは。
会いたいのはわかるけどな。So let's see. I know I want to meet, but what? Oh, I know you want to meet. So as for wanting to meet, I know. In other words, I know you want to meet, but I get that you want to see him, but
茜も飛んでみたいな。そしたら天国のお父さんにも会えるのに。空飛んでも死んだ人間には会われへんで。会いたいはわかるけどな。ああなんや、どういうことや。
なんや、どういうことや。So, what is going on, or what is this? Okay, let's see. どういうことや。See, どういうこと usually means what do you mean? Or in other words, what's the meaning of this, I guess? So, see, どういう to say what thing? So, what is the said thing, or what is the attribute of this thing? In other words, what is this? What is the meaning of this? So, what's going on? What is the meaning of this? なんや、どういうことや. And by the way, notice how in Japanese they often pronounce it as do you and not do you, even though that's generally how you pronounce those sounds. I think that's something just for pronunciation, just for certain words in which they pronounce it as you. If you've looked at the history of Japanese, different characters actually had different pronunciations after some World War II. Hence why we have particles like wo that is also pronounced as o, or as particles like he that's also pronounced as e when used as a particle. And after World War II, they one of the things they did was try to change Japanese to not have so many duplicate pronunciations for the exact same characters, though they couldn't do that for everything. Though I suspect this U instead of EU is something left over from that. What? What do you mean? Okay, in this case, it's what's the meaning of this? Doyu koto ya? To be what? What is to be what thing essentially? In other words, what is the meaning of this? So nanya. So to be what or what? Yeah, nanya doyu koto ya?
なんや、どういうことや。飛べた飛べた。なんや、どういうことや。飛べた飛べた。
Tobeta. So tobu to fly. Let's see, but this is Tobeta though. Tobu. So please explain the grammar of Tobeta. It's past tense potential, that's right. So tobu, so past tense would be toberu, and then tobu, past tense, potential is toberu, and then past tense potential would be tobeta. So I was able to fly out. I was able to fly. Tobeta.
なんや、どういうことや。飛べた飛べた。ねえ見て見て、茜も飛べるよ。
ね見て見て。茜もtoberu yo. So, hey, look. Kane is also able to fly.
ねえ見て見て、茜も飛べるよ。ちゃう、飛んでるんやない。
Chao, tonderu, Chao, tonderu yanai. Let's see. So, Chao is from of Chigao. So, in this case, I think it's meaning nai in this case. So, in other words, Chao, or it's not that, negating what she just said, and then tonderun yanai. So, you're not flying. Chao, no, that's wrong. Let's see. In this phrase, is Chao being used like nai and wait, then again, is there a difference whether it's being used by nai or chigao at this point? But nai to say it is not that, or is it being used more like chigao to say something is different or wrong? I mean, I guess they sort of have the same meaning anyway. Which Chao is indeed being used as the Kansai dialect equivalent to Chigao or Janai, meaning no, that's wrong, that's not correct. Here, okay, Chao functions as a standalone correction or strong Dao at the beginning. No, that's not it. I guess, yeah, technically it doesn't make sense, matter whether you want to translate it to the Tokyo bin of Nai or Chigao, they both sort of mean the same thing. Flying, and then Yanai. Yanai is the Kansai contraction of Janai. Which is Dewanai. So as for flying, you're not doing it. So they're not saying flying doesn't exist. So saying the identity of doing flying doesn't exist. In other words, you're not actually flying. So chao tonderun yanai.
飛べた飛べた。ねえ見て見て、茜も飛べるよ。じゃあ飛んでるんやない。これはクローカードや。ちゃんちゃん、こっちにおいでよ。ちゃんちゃん。
Chao-chan, kochi ni oide yo. Oide would be Ogu. That was Oide, coming, going, being somewhere. Please come or go, stay. So in other words, Chao-chan, come in this direction. Or in other words, come here, Chao-chan. Please explain the origin of in English. let's see, origin of oide in historically honored. The standalone oide is now commonly used in informal, intimate settings to beckon someone closer. Tone, it implies closeness or care, making it inappropriate for formal situations or superiors. Irashai or kite would be used, so how did oide come to mean come and go? How did oide come to mean come and go? Can mean come, go, or be, lies in its etymological root, which focuses on the act of appearing or going out rather than the specific direction relative to the speaker. The word is a compound honorific, of o and ide. Ide is the stem of the old Japanese idu. Idu originally meant to go out, to emerge, or to appear. The ancestor of modern deru. Because the core meaning is simply to appear, or to go out into presence, the specific direction coming to the speaker versus going to another place is not inherent in the word itself. Instead, the meaning is entirely context dependent. Come when the speaker invites someone to appear before them. Come here, or go when referring to someone appearing elsewhere. Be when referring to someone currently in a state of having appeared, staying somewhere. Okay, so in other words, it's like coming out and appearing, essentially. So appear here, in other words, come over here. So Chao-chan, kochi ni oide yo. You can see the kanji it uses is from deru. Shitsumon ga arimasu ka? Are there any questions? If not, we're going to raid, so please stick around for that. Konnichiwa. Let's see. It is more of a call to follow, like Yoo-hoo, or come this way. Oh, so, oide is more of a come to follow? So, let's see, in some examples, it's they have appeared in France, or they have gone to France. But you're saying it's mostly used just for someone following? Okay, the first raid is Brother Dust, who's teaching Japanese with Persona 3 Reload. Second raid is going to go to Pochelu, whose native language is Japanese and she's learning English. Let's see, the last raid will be going to raid the Dawn of Everything, who's playing The Legend of Heroes Trails Beyond the Horizon. Oh, okay, she's disabled raids. Okay, let's find someone else to raid. I'm gonna try to raid Ruhr. Let's see if she has raiding open. Nope. I'm gonna try to raid Uart. Oh, Art. So, 皆さんお気をつけて、また明日. Goodbye everyone, see you tomorrow.